when you're in New York, Nick, in New York, I mean, you're talking about, you see mafioso types. You go into a restaurant and you would literally eat. Hey, come on over here. You know, they I don't know how to say it. I don't got the accent, but they would say, come here, come over. Have a drink on me. And what are you going to do? Say no?
You not say
you
no
don't
to that?
say no to the drink. You don't say no.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Jake Sorensen here for The Body Shop. My wife is nearing her due date with our first child and has been in need of a good massage as her body continues to change and adapt. Dennis and the team at The Body Shop were incredible with the prenatal massage that she's still talking about today. I was also able to get a deep tissue massage, so it was a great bonding experience and a unique couples massage in general. If you're in need of stress relief, book a massage today at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. And Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello and welcome into the Daily Nebraskan show right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. I'm Ben Droz, one of the sports writers at the DN, and I'm joined here like every Monday by Anthony Rubik and Marissa Cross, both of the assistant sports editors at the Daily Nebraskan. And I mean, to start off the show, I mean, senior staff was announced.
It was.
Anthony, you kept your spot. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Marissa's going to be graduating in the spring.
I will be going. So
I know you. I know, but for people that don't know, what are you going to be doing after you graduate?
Good question. I'll be moving to Los Angeles to work at the LA Times.
So. A lot more sunny there.
Yes, for sure. Looking forward to that weather.
Have you ever been over there?
Nope, never been to the West Coast. Will be first time.
Really? You've never even been just anywhere near the West Coast?
No, I've been to California once. Went to like Napa Valley and Lake Tahoe, but never Southern California or the coast. So
I went to Sacramento. So like kind of over there.
Yeah.
Never been to LA though, but I thought San Francisco and Sacramento, I thought that was pretty cool. So.
Yeah, I've heard it's cool. And there's just so much to do there. So I'm excited to just explore, and there's obviously a lot of cool sports out there. So
Oh yeah.
That'll be fun.
California is a big sports state, so they got a lot to see. Every LA has to have like 2 teams for every sport. So
yeah, I was just about to say that, like Lakers, Clippers. Angels, Dodgers, literally just
Rams, Chargers.
Yep, just list keeps on going.
Yeah.
So
Every team.
it's gonna be really fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it will be fun. And if I end up staying there, I think Nebraska is going to play UCLA in California. So
Well, yeah.
that could be fun too.
We'll see. I'm pretty sure they're on the schedule. UCLA is on the football schedule this year, I believe.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that'll be a fun game being able to. I don't has Husker football even I don't even know if they ever played UCLA before.
I remember they did 2012 and 2013. They played them in a home and home series. I think they lost both matchups.
I think I remember.
Hopefully this time around's different.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean,
That'd be interesting to see how they play with so much travel and just playing on the West Coast for the first time in forever. So
yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting. But we're not gonna get into football talk because
not yet.
because there was big news for basketball as Nebraska got another player from the transfer portal, Connor. I feel like I'm gonna mispronounce his last name. Esigen?
I think it's Esigen.
Esigen?
Yeah, I think that's correct.
See, I'm not good with names, Anthony. See, this is why I'm a writer, because when I'm writing a story, all I have to do is just spell it right. And then it's I don't have to worry about pronouncing it. But when you're on the radio, now I gotta know how to pronounce it. So, sometimes you just gotta say it confident. So I'll just call him Connor. Because I know I'm not mispronouncing that. But Connor coming to Nebraska, he's gonna be joining this upcoming year. Nebraska attacking the transfer portal. Fred Hoiberg attacking the transfer portal as expected. If you guys just want to touch on just overall what Connor's going to bring to the team.
Yeah, I really like this pickup for Nebraska. This is a guy who, if you look at his stats last year, you think, he only averaged 3 points a game, only played 7 minutes per game. You might raise questions about this signing, but then when you look at his freshman year stats, 11.7 points, 35% from 3-point line, 27 minutes a game, Big Ten all freshman team. He has shown potential throughout his 2 seasons at Wisconsin, and he shows that, he could get buckets against Big Ten teams. He's done it before, which is very promising for Nebraska going forward, just getting a guy who has already played in these Big Ten environment and just brings a lot to the table that way.
Yeah, it's going to, obviously a depth piece for Nebraska, which that may not excite too many Husker fans because I feel like everyone is waiting for the big name. Everyone wants the big name that's going to come to Nebraska. I just don't know if that big name's ever going to come. I feel like it's just, I'm not saying everyone that they're going to bring in is just going to be someone who averages 3 points a game, but I don't think they're going to get anybody that's just this huge recruit, huge name. They're just going to fill in a bunch of solid depth pieces, guys that fit into what Hoiberg's wanting to do. And that's kind of what it was like last year. We saw how it worked out. There wasn't really this, oh my gosh, Nebraska has this player. That was not at all what happened last offseason. And Nebraska had one of the best years in program history. So, does it worry you that they really aren't getting a big name?
Doesn't worry me at all. Again, like you mentioned last year, really the same strategy, bringing in guys like Josiah Alec, Bryce Williams, Rank Mass. Really, none of those guys truly jump off the paper when you are looking at it, but they still just had a great year team-wise. Team chemistry was great, even with all those players, all these new players coming in. They gelled together very quickly, and I really see the same thing this year, which, again, these guys, Connor Esigen, Gavin Griffiths, 2 guys who I really like Nebraska going out and getting. These are guys who are, one, young, which Connor will be a junior this next year, Gavin a sophomore. So that was a big need for Nebraska with all the seniors they've been getting in the transfer portal and just on their team. But then another thing is just they're really going to bring great experience, great Big Ten experience off of the bench. And yeah, I just really think that, Nebraska still a couple holes they need to be filled, 3 scholarships left that they could attack the portal to fill. But I really like the team they're building right now.
I got to be honest. You said they have a few holes to fill. I feel like they have a lot of holes to fill. I get that they're not going to get a big name, and I'm not expecting a big name, but they really haven't filled too many of these holes that got left from last season, in my opinion. They got a point guard. That was good. but they really haven't gotten to post next to Mass, which we don't even know if Mass is going to come back.
Yeah.
And they still don't have that. Like, this is something I haven't seen too much of, is they need a perimeter scorer. Like, I get Bryce. I brought this up last week on the show, but Bryce Williams, I love Bryce Williams. I've been a huge fan of his all last year, going to continue to be this upcoming year. But like, that's not his game, though, to be a perimeter threat like, Tominaga was, like CJ Wilcher was, like Jamarcus Lawrence was a little bit. Like, those were guys that, could get their own shot a little bit on the 3-point line or mid-range. Nebraska just doesn't have that right now. And that's the only thing that really worries me, is that then post play. Because right now it's masked and that's about it.
Yeah, I do think that's their biggest need going forward. There's a guy like William Kyle who's still in the portal, still weighing his options. Nebraska really hoping they can land him. And like you mentioned, with just the perimeter scoring, I feel like that's what they brought in, guys like Essigen and Griffiths, in kind of just in hopes of doing that. They've showed flashes before, but they're not the bona fide scorer. Yeah. They're not consistent enough yet. This is like, that's kind of like them investing into them on becoming that. But I could definitely see, wanting to get a guy who's proven on the perimeter and stuff like that. So yeah, there's still definitely a lot to be addressed. I feel kind of confident on point guard with Rolly Woster from Utah coming over. So
I like that pickup.
Yeah, I think him, especially if Ulyss is eligible, that'd be definitely nice guys to have at the point guard spot. So yeah, I think really post is the big need going forward.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the glaring need, because, not like Alec was this huge producer for Nebraska, but he filled a role, and they needed him to be in that role. They wouldn't have won some of the games they did if they didn't have him on the team. And like, they just don't have that enforcer down low. Like, that's really the thing, because like, this was never really a physically dominant team. And now you take away Alec, it's going to, bless you, it's going to be even like harder for Nebraska to, go up to par with a team like, Texas A&M, who they lost to because the team was just more athletic. Like, Nebraska just hasn't brought anybody like that. And that is another thing that worries me. But, I feel like Nebraska's defense is going to be pretty solid, especially if they find a good post next to Mass. I feel like they're going to have a pretty good defense. It might even be better than last year's.
Yeah, William Kyle, Summit League Defensive Player of the Year this past season. So, again, definitely a guy they'd want to attack, look to get him on the team. But, yeah, they're still returning a lot of key pieces. Jawan Gary, Sam Hoiberg, who's just been great defender off the bench. Mass has had his moments. Bryce Williams has moments. So, yeah, I think defense definitely it's not going to be the biggest problem heading into the season. It's the offense, who's going to replicate Casey Tominaga? Well, first off, nobody can replicate.
I mean, no one on this roster
Tominaga's shooting, especially currently. So it's just going to be very interesting to see how that goes. Where are they going to get their scoring from? Again, I'm confident with guys like Williams and Gary for sure returning. Mass, maybe, but still bringing in some guys in the portal that can really help with that offense.
I mean, are you concerned about Mass possibly leaving?
I am.
I don't even know how to feel about it, because I feel like he's gonna stay, but it wouldn't surprise me if he would leave, though.
Yeah,
like that's kind of where I'm at right now.
It's like one of those things where, like, I feel like if he was staying, he would have said it by now.
That's what I was thinking.
It's I don't know. It's real. I mean, I haven't heard, like, it's just the thing is, you haven't heard anything about him looking elsewhere.
Yeah.
So unless he's keeping it super low key, like, I feel like he's going to come back, but it would not surprise me if he'd leave. But speaking of someone that left, CJ Wilcher to Texas A&M. Now, for Husker fans, this is very, I can't even say bittersweet, because this is bitter, because you lose Wilcher, one of your perimeter guys, and then you lose him to Texas A&M, the team that beat you, and the team that stole your former athletic director. Texas A&M has been stealing a lot from Nebraska lately. But other than that, I mean, what do you think about CJ Wilcher going to Texas A&M?
Yeah, it definitely surprised me. Like, I didn't know that Texas A&M was like one of his main options, one of the teams he was choosing between. So seeing that alert this morning really surprised me. But, no hard feelings towards him. He's a guy who he's done so much for Nebraska these past 3 years, especially this season. He had that amazing stretch in the middle of the year, and it's understandable why he entered the portal in the first place. Had a limited role compared to his first 2 years here this year. Even though he shined in the role, he wants more playing time. Understandable, and if Texas A&M was a great fit for him, I respect him for it. Hopefully he goes off for them. Hopefully, though, they don't play Nebraska in the March Madness or in some kind of postseason tournament. Maybe the committee still, just wants to play around with it. It's still kind of new. They might just throw it in.
I mean, wouldn't surprise me, but no, yeah, I have no hurt feeling. I mean, it wasn't surprising to me that he left.
Yeah.
I was more surprised by Jamarcus Lawrence leaving than Wilcher.
Mhm.
Wilcher walked. It was kind of like writing on the wall. His role got diminished. Walked. Like, it wasn't surprising. I was a little surprised it was Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Because, that was a team that they were pretty good. Like, they were pretty good last year. I know they were only a 9 seed, but they gave Houston all they could in that tournament game. And we saw how they kind of stomped Nebraska. And Nebraska was like, I don't feel like people realize, like, Nebraska was good last year. They just ran into Texas A&M was probably, like, is it a stretch for me to say that, like, they honestly felt like they were a top 15 team in that tournament? Like, I get they were a 9 seed, but the way they played in those first 2 rounds, that was like top 15 in the tournament, in my opinion.
I could see it. I mean, obviously it's a small sample size, but they pushed Houston to their limit in the second round. And
Houston was good.
Yeah, and then just going into the tournament, Texas A&M was one of the hottest teams in the country. I still think, if Nebraska played a different 9 seed, I forget what the 9 seeds were,
TCU.
but yeah, like TCU, there's probably
the other two were
Mountain
Big
West
Ten.
team.
The
The other two
were
were
so
Big
it was
Ten,
literally
yeah.
Texas A&M or TCU.
Yeah, like it was just a very tough draw for Nebraska in the first round of the tournament. But yeah, I mean, if CJ Wilcher is going to have a role for Texas A&M, they lost some guys. I think Wade Taylor entered the transfer portal for them. I don't know what his status is. I can look it up, but yeah, it's just gonna be a very. I guess he's returning to Texas A&M. Announced 9 hours ago.
You're spreading misinformation, Anthony. How dare you?
I looked it up. I put it out.
you're
Questioned myself.
No.
Did my research.
Oh no, you're good. But no, it's definitely gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna. I'll be surprised if he has a bigger role though there than he did in Nebraska, and that's the only thing that's weird to me is like he left Nebraska, and it felt like it was gonna be for a bigger role, but he goes to Texas A&M. Maybe he just wanted to go to a quote unquote better team. I don't know, because this doesn't feel like this was he wanted to leave for playing time because he went to Texas A&M. Like, I'm not saying he's gonna get 0 playing time, but like he could have had a significant role this year for Nebraska.
I think, excuse me. I think he will have some impact. Like, I don't know if I don't know how fast or like if he will right away, but I think he'll definitely be significant for them, like at least on the perimeter, because they were like I think near the bottom of the NCAA rankings
From 3-point line,
That's true,
shooting
yeah.
and stuff like that. So I think he will be a pretty significant piece in that. But yeah, I guess I don't know.
He's gonna have a role. It's just not bigger than what he was gonna get in Nebraska. Like, I was assuming he was gonna go to a place where he might start. Like, that's what I was envisioning. I don't see him starting.
I was thinking I said it multiple times on the show. I was thinking, a team like St. John's or a team closer to home. He's from New Jersey. So Texas, that very surprised me. But I really like what Marissa said. I mean, it's hard to remember this based on how well Texas A&M shot against Nebraska in the tournament, but they were one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the country. So it makes sense bringing a guy in like Wilcher, who, shot 39% last year, but again, at his peak, it was like 44, 45%. Seriously, some of the best marks in the country before the end of season. Kind of went on a little cold spell, but he's shown flashes. He's shown that he can light it up from deep. So yeah, really just factoring in the Aggies' struggles at the 3-point line. I totally get this transfer.
No, yeah, I get it. I get it for Texas A&M. I'm not questioning Texas A&M wanting to bring him in. I'm questioning CJ Wilcher wanting to go there. That's what I'm questioning. I get he's gonna fill something that hurt Texas A&M, which was 3-point shooting. couldn't tell it, like you said, during the tournament, but they weren't that great of a 3-point shooting team. He'll have a role. It's just not going to be like starting what I thought it would be. But
well, I'm just gonna say one more thing. I think another thing is I think Texas A&M was like one of the other schools they was looking at, like initially. I mean, I think I read that somewhere. I probably should have the source, but I think it was like between Nebraska and Texas A&M and maybe somewhere else. So maybe it has something to do with just what he remembers from when he was initially looking and liking the culture and coach there too. So I don't know. Maybe that's just kind of always been on his mind.
I mean, Texas A&M is a good program. I mean, I'm not going to knock them. I just found it interesting, mostly because they beat Nebraska, but also because, you know, he's not going to get a bigger role there, in my opinion, than what he would have had in Nebraska. But with that, we got to throw it to break. When we come back, we're going to get some NBA talk in because playoffs started. They started. Your Hawks aren't in it. My Heat are going to probably get swept by the Celtics. But, you know, we don't care because we're going to talk about it all right here on the next segment on the Daily Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Alcohol has strained our relationship. Drinking too much can cause harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, we will save our relationship. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Nobody goes to McDonald's more than you. Nobody.
No,
every meal,
I agree with that.
I mean,
don't go
every meal.
Every morning you're there.
Every morning goes to McDonald's every day.
I do it. Oh, I go every day.
Is it?
Yeah,
How many
that's what I
times?
mean. That's a lot.
How many?
I mean, sometimes
I'm
twice
saying
a
in
day.
the next year I go 9 times. I
That's
go
high
9.
for me. I'm not going 9
Oh,
times
I mean,
to
7
McDonald's.
times
Yeah.
a week. Seven
Yeah.
times a week.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of
Every
times,
day.
so you go more than once a day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm telling you. So it's
But I just
500.
get coffee.
But you go 500 times a year. That's a lot. Of times a year. The most I'm at is 9. I'm at 9. Jake's at 4, and you're at 500.
I say 4 to 5 for myself.
So I said 9. You said 500.
Put it that way.
It is. Just do the math.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Coleman Construction is a high-end custom home builder serving the city of Lincoln, Lancaster County, Seward County, and beyond. Through their decades of design-build expertise, they are available for detailed planning and custom building, additions, and remodels for your dream home. Coleman Construction listens to your ideas and works with you to develop a floor plan, budget, and project management approach. Contact Coleman Construction at 402-643-5654 to discuss your vision for a beautiful home and let them bring it to life. Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes and family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding
and tailgating tradition. Burnouts, beer, and barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time, and you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 4th and 5th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through April 23rd is buy one, get one free on 8-ounce flat iron steaks, limit 4 per visit. Also, buy one, get one 50% off on Montova grilled artichokes. And don't forget about lunch on Fired Up Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
Jake Sorensen here for The Body Shop. My wife is nearing her due date with our first child and has been in need of a good massage as her body continues to change and adapt. Dennis and the team at The Body Shop were incredible with the prenatal massage that she's still talking about today. I was also able to get a deep tissue massage, so it was a great bonding experience and a unique couples massage in general. If you're in need of stress relief, book a massage today at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours, and our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
When you're in New York, Nick, in New York, I mean, you're talking about, you see mafioso types. You go into a restaurant and you would literally eat. Hey, come on over here. You know, they I don't know how to say it. I don't got the accent, but they would say, come, Strick, come here, come over. Have a drink on me. And what are you going to do? Say no?
You not say
You
no
don't
to that?
say no to the drink. You don't say no.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
School tells you all about the four seasons: spring, summer, and so on. And then there's a way we really tell what time of year it is. Sports seasons: football season, baseball season, or even off season. Well, what's the chocolate season? Well, it's now, of course. And now, and always. Whether you're looking for a caffeinated pick-me-up on the way to work, a little snack on the way home, or you need the perfect gift that's sure to be appreciated, it's time for the chocolate season, y'all. 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead at thechocolateseason.com. See you there.
Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello and welcome back into the Day One Nebraskan show right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Got two more segments, one segment down, two to go. Just wrapped up Husker basketball talk, transfer portal talk. But now we are going to get into NBA because playoffs are here. And it's honestly one of the most exciting times of the year for me because I love the NBA playoffs. I honestly feel like it's up there with March Madness. I would still choose March Madness, but like NBA playoffs, I love the playoffs because the one thing that I will do like about it better than March Madness is the better team is going to win. The one thing about March Madness is sometimes it's like when you pick your bracket and you're like, this is the best team, but then they have one bad night or they go against a team that was super hot one night, their season could just be over. That's not going to happen in the NBA. Even if they lose one game, there's still 6 other games if it goes to 7 games. So that is one thing I like about the NBA, but I'm a Heat fan, so I'm not enjoying it that much because they lost by 20. We have no Jimmy Butler. Tyler Hero needs to be Superman, and he hasn't been yet. Bam Adebayo needs to dominate. He's doing okay, but they need Jimmy, man. It's almost an impossible task to beat the Celtics without Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I actually just boycotted the NBA after the Hawks not making the playoffs.
Bro, you can't be hurt about that. I mean, bro, Hawks just weren't good.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking. But yeah, it's tough. Obviously, injuries really hurt the Heat with Jimmy Butler being out. I mean, that was really I'm not saying their whole team, but just the heart and soul of it.
Oh yeah, he's the
grit of all of it, and it's just going to be very hard to overcome a Boston Celtics team that won 64 games in the regular season.
They're not going to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to break it to myself. They're not going to do it, but I'm still going to watch all the games and I'm going to sit there and watch them lose. And it's just going to be hard to watch, but I'm a Heat fan. So it's almost like watching Husker football when you just know they're not going to win, but you still have to watch the game. Like against Michigan, I'm like, they're not going to win. They're probably going to get crushed, but I still got to watch this. I have to watch how bad it's going to be. It's almost like that. It's like I have to watch how bad the Heat are going to lose to the Celtics because it's going to be interesting. If the Heat get 2 games, I'll be happy. I got to be honest. But the Heat aren't the only team. A lot of other teams. There hasn't been a single upset yet. Every top seed has won.
Yeah, and the game going on right now, Lakers versus Denver. Los Angeles was up by 20. Denver just tied it up with 1:15 left. Michael Porter Jr. hit a 3-pointer.
Wow. I think am I going crazy? Oh no. Okay. The game's still going. I thought it was over. No, yeah, that's the only game right now that Lakers could win the underseed. But so far, not counting the game that's not over yet, every top seed is won. So it's been every home team, which a little boring. But, I'm okay with it. I feel like the 76ers would have gave the Knicks a tougher fight if Embiid was healthy. I kind of expected more out of the Pacers against the Bucks, but, Bucks are really good. Cavaliers are really good. I know I'm just focusing on East right now, but I'm a Heat fan, so I do. The Cavs are really good this year, but let's get into the West, because there's actually been some pretty good games in the West, because Anthony Edwards is the reincarnation of Michael Jordan, and it's not even close.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a fun game yesterday. Really big blowout, though. Minnesota beats Phoenix, but just a great battle watching Kevin Durant face off against Anthony Edwards. You saw the picture all over social media of them just smiling at each other, kind of just like the past, now looking at the future of the NBA. And yeah, I mean, Anthony Edwards, great player, 33 points, 9 rebounds, just really has taken this Minnesota team to new heights. Karl Anthony Towns gets back, hurt his meniscus early or at about the halfway point of the season. He's back now. So have Rudy Gobert just really coming at full force at this time, right when it matters most.
Oh yeah, no, Timberwolves are pretty good. I still have Denver going all the way, but they're Anthony Edwards is really good. Like I feel like the Timberwolves might be one of the only teams that could challenge the Nuggets. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't really trust the Thunder, because I feel like the Pelicans Thunder series is gonna probably go 7 games. I wouldn't be surprised. This Pelicans team is better than people think it is. So I don't think the Thunder would beat the Nuggets. Like if I was gonna choose what team I think could dethrone the Nuggets, I honestly would pick the Timberwolves, because I don't trust the Lakers. I know they're giving it to them right now, but I don't think they're going to beat the Nuggets in that series. And then what? Clippers, Mavericks, like none of those teams, Suns, if they beat the Tim, like none of those teams excite me to be able to beat the Nuggets. Like I feel like the Timberwolves kind of match up good, because if Anthony Edwards outperforms Jamal Murray, which he should if they would hypothetically play in a series, if Rudy Gobert can kind of shut down Jokic down low and Karl Anthony Towns can, light it up, it could happen.
Yeah, just going back to, you mentioned Oklahoma City. That was a great game last night between them and the Pelicans.
Close game.
Just went down to the wire. Really just great effort, great defense by Cason Wallace on CJ McCollum at the last play of the game. McCollum kind of like he fought out just to get that matchup against the rookie, and he really proved his ground there. So it's just a very fun matchup to watch, and it's going to be a very fun series. I mean, New Orleans, even without Zion Williamson, hopefully he's back sometime in the series, still, has a lot of great talent, has a lot of talent with guys like Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy had a great game. And then Oklahoma City, one of the youngest teams in the league. That's really the only reason why people don't have OKC going far in the playoffs, including myself. I mean, I'd have them winning this series, but it's, just because of their inexperience in the playoffs, just how young their team is. But you saw a glimpse of it last night. Guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, one of the best players in the league, proving that, had 28 points. Jalen Williams, 19 points. Chet Holmgren, 15. Those are Williams and Holmgren are 2 players from the same draft class. Just were drafted not this season, but last season, and have really just shown how good they are at just such a young age.
I'm getting the sense of, I feel like this Thunder team might be like very similar to like what the Celtics were going through years ago when it was Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, where it's like this is a very talented team. They're just like young, This finally feels like the first year where the Celtics actually have all the pieces where they can actually go on a legitimate run. Like I get they made the finals against the Warriors, but sorry, they shouldn't even beat the Heat that year. But, I feel like it's going to be kind of the same thing with the Thunders, because, none of the star players on that team is just an experienced player. And that's kind of the problem, because when you go against teams like the Nuggets that have all this playoff experience, or even the Minnesota Timberwolves, people like the Timberwolves are more experienced than people think they are. Rudy Gobert has a lot of experience. Karl Anthony Towns has been to the playoffs before. Anthony Edwards is he's just a superstar. I'm not worried about Anthony Edwards in the playoffs. And that's why I feel better about the Timberwolves and the Thunders, is because I feel like there's more experience on that team. Even if you don't, like, they even have Mike Conley.
Yeah.
Like, and he's been around the league forever. Like, literally, I don't remember when he wasn't in the league. I don't remember when he wasn't in the league.
Was the highest paid player in NBA history at one point.
Isn't it? See, bro, it's crazy. See, I don't really like how every offseason is like, ooh, the new highest player. Well, I'm like, yes, whoever signs the contract that year is going to be the, like.
Isn't it Jaylen Brown right now? Or
I think it is. See, and this is why I don't even care about that anymore, because, you got someone like LeBron, who obviously is one of the best players in the league, and he's not getting paid nearly at the same amount as, Jaylen Brown, who, I'm sorry, he can't dribble with his left hand. So, sorry, I'm a hater, Jaylen Brown, but it's kind of interesting to me how saturated the market is on some of these players, where it's like, even if they're not quite a superstar, you still have to pay him, and you got to pay him big money. That's why the Heat got. I'm glad they were able to pay Bam Adebayo early before it really started taking off, because they're gonna have to re-sign Jimmy Butler too. They're gonna have to Jimmy Butler's gonna be making like $55 million on average if they re-sign him to the max, and he's gonna be 35, 36, and they're gonna be paying him $55 million. I don't know. They have to re-sign him because it's Jimmy Butler, but it's gonna hurt him.
Yeah, it's just these NBA franchises. They have to really just invest in players and really just hope that they do well. I know we argued, we debated last Wednesday about Trae Young. I won't bring that up again, but I will bring up a guy, DeAndre Hunter. The Hawks gave him a 4-year, $95 million contract.
That's not even that bad, though.
But for DeAndre Hunter, it's questionable. It's no team. They're going to try to move off him, but they're not going to get quite the package they want to, because we're paying a guy who, had 6 points in the playing game.
Here's a guy that had 6 points in the play-in, superstar for the Hawks, one of the best teams in the league. Come on, who wants him? Yeah. It reminds me of the meme of who wants me, and it says 100% no. That's what the DeAndre Hunter situation reminds me of. But no, this playoffs have honestly been pretty fun. Right now, gut pick. Who do you have in your finals? I know we did this earlier, but now we have almost 2 games played for all these teams. About half of them. Gut pick.
Wow, I guess I just missed it, but Denver beat LA.
They did.
101
so
to 99.
Top seed has won so far. There literally hasn't been a bottom seed that's won yet.
Well, I think that while it is hard, some teams have played twice, others once. I'm going to stick with my Denver Boston pick. I think, you're
going shock.
I know, but even though this was a tough matchup, I think the Lakers are very capable of winning. They're very capable of winning some games in that series against Denver. And I think that's just going to help Denver. They're going to win this tough series in 6 games, something like that. That really just helps push them going forward. And I feel like it's kind of the opposite on the other side. Celtics probably facing the Cavs round 2, intriguing matchup, but
it is
might not be the hardest to path until the conference finals, which I think that could favor them well, as keeping their team kind of relatively healthy, that they're not in these dog fights where you're having to die for loose balls, all that stuff.
I'm still out. Marissa, I'll get your pick here soon, but so last time I gave my pick, this was before Jimmy Butler got hurt, so I said Heat because I had to say Heat. I'm a Heat fan. That they're not even going to win. They probably won't even win a game in the Celtics series, so they're not going to make the finals. So I still got Nuggets winning it all, but I'm going to go with Bucks because I feel like the Bucks are good. They're really good. I get they didn't have as good of a record as the Celtics. Whatever. Damian Lillard and Giannis is a dangerous duo, and I think they're going to show it this playoffs. I just think they're really good. I know that might not be too crazy, but we saw Giannis before. He's shown that he can perform in the playoffs.
Yeah, and you just saw the Bucks without Giannis against the Pacers in Game 1, and Damian Lillard had 35 points, 6 3-pointers, won pretty convincingly. So
yeah,
Giannis will be back at some time during this series, and that was a lot of people were picking Indiana over the Bucks because of the first half of the series that Giannis is going to miss, and at least in one game they proved them wrong.
This is what I'm saying. I really feel like if it gets to be a Celtics-Bucks series, I think the Bucks are going to come out on top just because Dame time. Come on, we haven't seen Dame time with a player on the caliber of Giannis Antetokounmpo on his team. Literally, the second best player that's been on his team has been CJ McCollum. Nothing against CJ McCollum, but he's not Giannis. Giannis is, I think people forget, he's literally one of the best players in the league. He wasn't an MVP candidate this year, but we all know he's probably a top 5 player in the league. I don't really feel like that's much of a debate. So him and Damian Lillard in this playoffs, I think they should get to the finals. Marissa, you got a finals pick?
Yeah, I do. It's not really exciting. I was just gonna say Nuggets Celtics as well.
Let's go.
With Nuggets probably taking it again. Yeah, they're just obviously very good, and Celtics are very good. I mean, going back to like the Heat Celtics game. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Like when the 114-94 loss. Obviously the Heat are missing Jimmy Butler, but I think another thing that Miami needs to do is find a way to slow down like Jason Tatum, who had his like first season triple double, and yeah, I don't know. I think it's just gonna be hard to beat Celtics on that side of things, and then I forgot what I was gonna say. My other point, but yeah, we'll just go with that. Nuggets Celtics.
I mean, honestly, chalk might honestly be what happens this year. I just don't want to pick the Celtics because my gut won't let me. So I'm going to pick Bucks because I don't like the Bucks either. But I don't hate Giannis as much as I do Tatum because Jason Tatum. Like if I was going to choose top 3 players, I wouldn't miss if they wouldn't be in the league this next year. It'd be Jason Tatum, LeBron. Who would be my third person? I don't even know.
You put yourself in that predicament. Top 3.
See, I don't even. So why did I say a top 3? I don't even know I just don't like those two. Jaylen Brown. Fine. We'll just go two Celtics players.
Set up FanDuel accounts under the names Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown,
Kyle Lowry. Why did he all of a sudden start playing good when he went to the 76ers? There's something up with that. But no, this playoffs is gonna be fun. Do you have predictions on who? So I know we're all gonna pick Celtics, all gonna pick Nuggets. What about like some of these middle games? Like I forget like Timberwolves Suns. Do either of you think Suns can win that, or do you think Timberwolves is too good?
I think it's gonna be an intriguing series. You can't count out a team with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, but I like Minnesota's odds here. Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns. I think it's going to be I hope it's the Timberwolves, as I would really want to see a Timberwolves Nuggets second round matchup.
Yeah, it'd be real. Like I would love to watch that series. We saw how fun it was, in the regular season. So, but one series in the West that really intrigues me is the Mavericks Clippers, because I feel like the Mavericks Clippers play each other in the playoffs all the time.
They do
all the time, and Luka Doncic has gotten the better. I feel like the Mavericks have kind of had the better end of it over the past few years, but now that it's Luka and Kyrie, are people counting out the Mavericks too much? Because I feel like Luka and Kyrie, that's a dangerous duo.
Yeah, but it's just how much of the supporting cast are they going to get with that? I mean, PJ Washington, really, they kind of depend on him as that third guy, and he had 11 points, but only 4 of 10 shooting in their last game. And then the Clippers, it's whether or not Kawhi Leonard is going to be healthy or not. He wasn't. It seems like a thing we talk about every playoffs.
Yep.
Kawhi Leonard's availability. He didn't play the other day, but Clippers still won. Paul George had 22 points. James Harden had 28. So you still have those all-star caliber players. But yeah, if Kawhi Leonard is healthy and in the lineup, Clippers, they were up there with the Nuggets, Thunder, and Timberwolves before the All-Star break. Kind of fell off after it, but they can still easily go on a run.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But with that, we got to throw it to break. We come back. We're going to wrap up the show with some baseball and softball talk, both played over the weekend. So we'll touch on that right here on the Daily Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Grab a free burger and beer at LA Power Sports of Lincoln on April 27th during their Husker Spring Game tailgate. Meet the LA Power Sports team, play some tailgate games with them, and enter for a chance to win an official John Elway autographed football. Check out their huge selection of boats and watercraft for the summer, along with hundreds of motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides from all the major brands. Stop out and watch the game with them on April 27th. LA Power Sports of Lincoln, 27th and I-80. They'll be tailgating all day. The Double the Savings sales event is happening now through April 22nd at Bonsall Pool & Spa. During this event, buyers can take advantage of up to $1,500 in savings and receive 0% APR for 60 months. Visit the Bonsall Pool & Spa showroom at 33rd and Pioneers or visit their website at bonsallpool.com to learn more about their hot tub sale. Act fast because this offer ends soon. Bonsall Pool & Spa, every day made better.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first. That sounds like a match made in heaven. Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn to ride a motorcycle, how to start a small business, how to dance, or take a course to advance in your current career path. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Hey Nebraska! Register today for the 40th Annual Cornhusker State Games, taking place July 11th through the 21st in Lincoln, Omaha, and other Nebraska communities. The Cornhusker State Games features 70 sports for athletes of all ages and abilities. Price increases are approaching, so register early and save. For details, go to cornhuskerstategames.com. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel with Gatorade. Brought to you by Pepsi Cola of Lincoln, a proud partner of the Cornhusker State Games.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
When you're in New York, Nick, in New York, I mean, you're talking about, you see mafioso types. You go into a restaurant and you would literally eat. Hey, come on over here. You know, they I don't know how to say it. I don't got the accent, but they would say, come straight, come here, come over. Have a drink on me. And what are you going to do? Say no?
You not say
You
no
don't
to that?
say no to the drink. You don't say no.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One last segment here on the Daily Nebraskan Show on 92.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Ben, Anthony, Marissa, still rocking with you before we close up and we all go to bed because I'm going to be tired after this. Got to be honest. But one last segment, going to be about 5 minutes, but we're going to wrap it up with some baseball and softball talk because Husker baseball finally got some wins again. They were on a bad stretch, but won the weekend series against Maryland 2-1, won the Friday game 6-3, lost Saturday 11-2, but then bounced back in a big way on Sunday, won 16-4. Anthony, you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, overall, great weekend for Nebraska baseball. Big bounce back after losing the series against Rutgers and then losing to Creighton. Yeah, losing to Creighton in the midweek game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a great bounce back for them. Another quality start for Brett Sears on Friday. 7 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts. So great. He's been killing it all year and continue that this weekend. Game on Saturday, you know, it was a tough game for them. The first pitch of the game, Maryland hit a home run. So
Yeah.
it was one of those days, but they bounced back in a major way on Sunday, winning 16-4. Will Walsh pitched the majority of the game. They actually won in won in 7 innings, so got a run rule victory over Maryland. And then again, Sunday pitcher, it's been kind of a struggle. Will Walsh held his own for the most part, so that's very promising going forward.
Yeah, because I mean, pitching's kind of been a little bit of an issue for Nebraska during this losing stretch. So glad to see pitching kind of getting a little bit more back on track. But I mean, the problem, which is something I've heard from a lot of Husker fans, is baseball just can't win in midweek.
Yeah,
like that's a story. Like they can't win in the midweek, and they have a game against Kansas.
Yeah,
like I don't even know how I can think that they might even win that because they can't win. Like I said it before, they can't win in the midweek.
Yeah, that was a problem for them last year as well. That's really what kind of doomed them, doomed their chances of getting a regional appearance in the NCAA. So yeah, very interesting to see how they respond against Kansas. And a lot of that is pitching wise. You're not going to throw out Brett Sears or Mason McConaughey in on a Tuesday or Wednesday game. They're going to be starting Drew Christo on Tuesday, a guy who they had high expectations for going into the year. Started him out as a weekend starter, kind of, hasn't had his best start, but maybe tomorrow is a way that he can kind of bounce back, get back into his own groove and move his way back into the weekend rotation.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, but I mean, it's just, why do you feel like they can't win in the midweek? Like, I don't even know. Like, do you feel like it's a coaching thing? Like,
and I think it's just pitching. I think, Nebraska, for the second year in a row, that they've been very top heavy on their pitchers. They've had 2 aces
definitely
that you want playing against Big Ten teams. You want, playing in the big games, and it's just these midweek games. You're going to have to try to find a guy who can go out and pitch, 4 or 5 quality innings, which has become very hard to get. I mean, the Creighton game, I don't even know how many pitchers pitch for both sides. I mean, it's really, they just go through a revolving door. So it's very interesting. And yeah, Nebraska just needs some of these either relievers that can kind of move their way into those weekend starters, or some starters who kind of work their way out of the weekend to kind of bounce back.
It's going to be interesting to see if they can pick up a midweek win against Kansas on Tuesday tomorrow. Well, it's almost going to be today in 8 minutes, but we'll see. Softball did not have the best weekend, got swept by Michigan, but Michigan is one of the top teams in the Big Ten, but lost the first 2 games, Friday and Saturday, by 1 run, but then got run ruled on Sunday 11-3. Friday game was 4-3 and then 6-5. They lost all three. Still don't have a terrible record. They're sitting 25-19 on a 3-game losing streak, obviously, because they lost the weekend series. But 8-6 in conference play, 25-19 overall. I mean, if you would have told me that this is where they were sitting with no Jordy Ball, I mean, it's not that bad, in my opinion. I mean, just Jordy Ball was the main reason why this team was ranked. And then you just lose her just so unexpectedly first game. And I think the team's honestly performed pretty well. I know this last weekend was rough, but they've honestly done pretty good in Big Ten play. Won the Rutgers series 2-1. They lost to Penn State 1-2. But they swept Wisconsin. They technically swept Illinois, but one of the games got canceled. But they won 2 of them. Just like they've done pretty good in conference play outside of this Michigan weekend series. But do you guys have any thoughts on softball?
Yeah, it's just they ran into one of the hottest teams in the Big Ten at the worst time. Michigan had won 9 in a row. Also have not lost at home all year. And they still played them very well the first 2 games. First game, they lost off a walk-off home run in extra innings. And then the second game, they also only lost by 1 run. Third game, 6 innings, lost 11-3. Maybe kind of tried so hard in those first 2 games that understandable, they might have fell a little flat at the end of the series, but still, even if it was a sweep, they showed a lot of heart. They showed a lot of, fight that I think is tells you a lot about this team going forward, as they still are definitely, I think, in the top of the Big Ten, or at least towards the middle to the top, and they can definitely, put up a fight against any team.
I honestly still feel like this Nebraska team could get to top 3.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see. They're going to have to kind of get things together towards this last half of the season, but I feel like they have the talent. It's just, can they put it all together? But with that, we got to wrap up the show. Thank you for listening into the Daily Nebraskan show right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. We're not going to be on here tomorrow because Omaha Supernovas on The Ticket. It's going to be on tomorrow. I believe the game starts at 9. Don't quote me. I believe it starts at 9, though. So they're playing in San Diego against the San Diego Mojo Supernovas, and that game's going to go pretty late tonight. It's going to actually go into our show. One of the first times, because we have a late show, Anthony. But with that, thank you for listening in to the show. We'll be back Wednesday, same time, 11 to 12. But until then, see ya.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical